Hello, dear friends. I want to ask you to take a moment and check in with yourself and see if you can sense what it is that is getting in your way of creating the life you really want to live. And it can be anything. There are no right or wrongs. There is no spiritual or unspiritual. There is just what is. Many times when we live in our current what is, there's things we want to change, right? It could be our health, it could be our finances, our relationships, our connection to the divine. It can be and it is everything. So that's why let's not put something in a category, it's not okay to want that. Although I would probably say that that is one of the reasons where that stops us from experiencing and expressing what it is that we long for in here. But if you take a moment, if you're somebody who has been trying to change your life circumstances or your inner spiritual terrain and anything in between, you might find something that says, it's just not working for me. I have tried everything for years and my life has not changed. Very, very, very common. Certainly something I have been dealing with myself. And I started, if you're familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza, I started his work, I think was it 2014? And it was, of course, incredible. And then the first one, and then I would go on more of these retreats and I would practice at home. I would even for I think 6 months or so, I would get up at 4 in the morning. I remember I would just go to bed by 8. And if there were any parties or things I was invited to, I would just not go because I was so committed to really get this and embody it. So I would get up at 4 in the morning and do the one for the pineal gland to start with. That's a long one. And then I would just add one or two on. So I basically was meditating from 4 to 8 or maybe 7:30. And then I would just rest and let and soak in that. And I didn't see any changes in my life. And it was frustrating because I put my whole life behind it. I mean, getting up 4 in the morning, it's not something most people do unless there is a natural movement to do that. Some people wake up that early and they can benefit from that amazing time around 4, where supposedly the pineal gland is the most active, if I remember it correctly. But nothing changed, and I would go to other retreats and I would meditate with my Dr. Joe group here where I live. I was very, very, very committed. I didn't notice any changes. Very disappointing. I wonder if you can relate to this, because I know we are not the only ones. There are those people who start doing manifesting work and everything changes within a very short amount of time, and you go like, what am I doing wrong? Right? You can probably relate to a lot of this unless you are one of those uh, manifesting machines where it just happens. So when I say that Dr. Joe's work didn't work for me or his meditations didn't work for me, that, of course, has nothing to do with his work, with Dr. Joe's work. Nothing. His work is so amazing. And if you have not connected with it yet, I highly recommend it because he has really helped a lot of people break through a lot of these glass ceilings and barriers. And I have too. I'm not saying it didn't do anything for me. It actually did a lot more in the letting go and the releasing and the surrendering and um, not engaging in old patterns. So it has done a lot, but it didn't give me the results that I wanted by doing the work. So nothing wrong with Dr. Joe and his work. He's amazing. I think he's bringing in something to the world that is so important and something that I would say that children should learn in school. It should be one of the subjects where you really learn that you are the source of your creation. So why did it not work for me? And it's something I have known, but I didn't know it as clearly as I do now. I hadn't really taken it fully to heart. And the last month, 2 months, I've been really focusing on it a lot more because I could start seeing what it was that was getting in my way. I have talked about it on my videos. And I want to elaborate a little more on that today and see if it might be helpful for you also. So, what I saw here not too long ago, and I did a video on it actually before I knew it as much as I know it now, is that there was something in me that just did not believe that it would work for me, that it would happen for me, that I was able to. I always felt this underlying, it's not going to happen anyway. Oh, it's not going to. Do you know that underlying heavy limiting energy that colors everything. So after I would do the meditations, I would not be able to really hold it for long but what I was holding very long for many, many years, my whole life probably, was that it's not going to happen for me. It's not going to happen for me. Or if it's going to happen, it's going to go away again. And that last one is from, of course, from my experience where I had a very, very profound spiritual awakening back in the was that in the 80s, late 80s. I have shared some about that here, where it came and it went. Horrible experience. So part of me was still impacted and influenced by that experience where it went away. And that's what I've been carrying as when I talk about we put these frames or these slides in front of the projector. So here I am, doing my 4 a.m. meditation, connecting, opening my pineal gland and yada, 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 whatever it is that we do in those meditations. And underneath, there was just like, it's not going to happen anyway. I didn't feel like, oh, it's going to happen or, oh, it's possible. Oh, I'm so looking forward to what's going to happen. Like, no, there was just this like, that's not going to happen anyway. But I stayed with it because I wanted it to happen. So, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that kind of motivation to just keep going. And I have never stopped because that drive to fully wake up and know who I am and know that I'm unlimited, that I'm fully capable, that keeps moving me, but it's up to me to kind of move with that and not let myself be stopped by this. No, no, it's not going to happen. Just take a moment right now and just feel if you can relate to this. it may not necessarily be that you can't do it or it's never going to happen to you. It might be. And the other one I've talked about, um, that gets in the way is that we don't feel we're deserving it or are worthy to receive it. That's definitely been part of my flavor too. But I still believe that both these flavors, I can't do it, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, those are probably the thickest, least penetrable frames in our projector in front of the light. So just take a moment and see, whether which one ever it is. But just, I think what is so important that I am in this in the full unfolding of right now is that until those have dissolved or at least softened a lot, I don't think a whole lot is going to happen. It may be different for everyone, right? I can't generalize, but this has been such a big boulder in my progress in being the full manifester. I know who I am. That's obvious for me because that's been my main focus for a long time. But even with that realization, there was still this layer that's thought, it's not going to happen. Whatever people talk about, all the miracles that happen, I have seen miracles happen, but not to that extent, and also not to the extent where I just know. I just know that I am not Pernilla. I am the creator of everything. I am the light in a projector. And anything can show up in front of it that has a form, that has an expression. But as long as my main one is, it's not going to happen to me anyway, everything I do comes through that. And that's why the results were very meager. And that is not the case anymore. There has been a really big shift in my identity and still is. This is my almost like my full-time job right now. And that is that the feeling that I can't do it or it's not going to happen to me is being put to the side very, very consciously by me because I don't want to, I've seen it so clearly. And instead of going like, oh, it's never going to happen to me, and then you go back to the old, and instead of really taking this as an opportunity to meet it head on, face on, like, oh, this is it. This thing here is why nothing has, manifested as a miracle or as something that comes out of the blue. And again, I want to say, as I say that, I've had many things like that happen, but it has not broken the spell that I have been under that nothing is going to change. Yeah, maybe that was a coincidence, or how we do that, how the mind does that. So we don't want to do that. We want to know what this is. And if when you know what it is for you, and then realize that this is the filter in front of the projector, then you don't need to go back and say, oh, there's something wrong with me. God has left me. These are all my old ones. They're not here anymore, but I remember them really well. Like, yeah, nobody cares about me. It's always going to be like this. And, I need to live in fear. All this is all things of the past. And it's going to stay in the past. I am not going to bring that into my present experience anymore. what I'm bringing in here is the feeling of I am somebody who, which I have talked a lot about on my recent videos. I am somebody who is able to create miracles, to manifest effortlessly. And effortlessly means without effort. It means by being it as a felt sense of I am. So the feeling of I am, in my experience, is so essential. Because if it's not felt as I am, it's happening in the mind. You might have things in the feelings like, oh yeah, I can feel it now, I can feel it now. And that's a good beginning. It's very good steps, but it comes down to I am that. I am, I am. So I always go into I am. If I can't feel myself as I am, which is not here, which is here, then I am still in the past. So it's not going to happen. But when I start realizing, feeling, sensing, I am, and I can say, I'm not that anymore. I don't want to wear that frequency. So what do I want to wear? What new garment do I want to put on? If any, you don't have to. But I want to wear the garment that is actually the true quality and expression of I am. And that is limitless. It is effortless. It is abundance. It is peace. So now instead of focusing on what I used to believe I was, I choose no. And if that feeling that I can't do it is still there, which it probably will be for a while, that's why I keep doing the work to start feeling, well, what does it feel like to be somebody who is part of that group of people where things just manifest, right? I can put anything in front of the I am, which will help me to shift out of the old identity that says, oh, it's never going to happen to me. It's like, no, I am now part of those people who have broken through the belief that it's never going to happen. That works for me because I can feel what it feels like, oh my God, I am now out of that old paradigm. And I'm now connecting with people who are in the new paradigm where this doesn't exist. So for me, one of the things that's helpful to say is like, oh, I am somebody where things just come to me effortlessly. And I'm so grateful. I'm so relieved that that is who I am now. That's what I experience now. And that is breaking down that strong tendency to be pulled back into the old, where it's never going to happen to me. When that comes up, and it comes up 100 times a day, because now I see it all the time. It's like, oh my God, there it is. This is so crazy. Why did I believe that so long for my whole life, right? I'm done with that. So I can see it now where it comes in. And as soon as I can see it, I can choose. And I choose not to engage with it anymore. Maybe I catch myself for a moment, it's like, oops, nope, nope. And then I go back. No, I'm actually somebody where things do change, where I am the creator of my own life. I am, not Pernilla, not my mind. So I have to feel this feeling, this sensation of I am, because that's where creation comes from. So, from that point of view, it makes no sense to believe that it can happen to me. Now it's more like, yeah, I am that. There's no separation. I am that. I already am what I whatever want to manifest. I am that. So, this is the new identity that I'm beginning to walk around as. I am seeing things changing. But I won't don't want to put, my fingers like, oh, it's done or something. No, no, no. This is going to be something we need to do consistently for a long time until this one has totally dissolved, where we have stopped feeding it altogether. Because if we stop now, where it's not fully embodied yet, we will automatically, by default, start feeding the old again. And then we can go back, it's like, see, it's not working. It's not working. Look at that, right? But it's only because this energy is still alive in us. It's still being fed by us. We have not fully closed the door on it. I don't know how long it's going to take for you or for me. Those people who start doing this work and magic and miracles happen right away, they must have a lot less of this density that I have been carrying with me, at least. So for them, it's just like, whoop, it just happens. No big deal. But for somebody like me and my age, you might relate to it, whatever age you're in, um, it just takes longer. It's just, there's more density in like, oh, it's never going to happen to me. And you might have a lot of memories and reasons why you say that. It's like, yeah, didn't happen here, didn't happen here. I tried this, I tried that. That's all the past, right? It's the past. You're comparing now with past, imagining that because it happened here, it's going to happen here and here and here and here. And that's why we carry it with us. And that's why we believe it, because we keep feeding it. So, the first thing we need to work on is the main block, the main frame, or yeah, the main frame that we are seeing life through. That can take some time. And, we might just see it. And then 2 minutes later, we're back in the old, we don't even see it anymore. That's why it's so hard in the beginning, and that's why it takes a longer time for people than others. But in my own experience, I felt like I snapped through something, that glass ceiling where something snaps. Oh, that's why, I really don't think it's going to happen to me. And then that's why I went like, okay, you are next in line to be liberated. This belief that it's not going to happen. I'm going to liberate you by not feeding you. And that is my process right now. And it's really amazing because I feel so free and happy and liberated because I'm not living this anymore. I still don't know how this is going to unfold, but I don't care because I know that I am the creator of my own life. I am. And I'm starting to deepen and trust in that more and more. But that is because it is my absolute number one priority right now. Because I feel I broke through something and I don't want to be pulled back again. I want to stay here now, right here. And then from there, start becoming somebody who is living fully aligned with the qualities of the infinite divinity that I am, that we are. So take that in and see how that relates to you, okay? And then please comment. This is a very, very powerful transition that we can go through. And it is leaving the old paradigm, the old identity behind. And as we do that, we automatically are the new earth, the new paradigm identity. And now we have to walk that, live that, speak that, act as if that is already here, because it is, because it is, because it is. Please like, share, subscribe, and definitely please comment below. It would be so wonderful to hear and read your comments and see how this all resonates. All right, my friends, let's stop here for today, and I'll see you again very soon.